I'm not sure.
You're not sure what to do, so you have not decided?
I suppose that is one of few certainties.
What are your fears?
The dark labyrinth of success. It is so trapping.
So you fear the nomination and the presidency?
Yes. The whole thing, the entire spectacle.
So why did you pursue it?
I thought it was what I wanted. I needed to come back and help fix my country. And of course, my life in America was not entirely fulfilling.
Your wife?
Yes. Another spectacular obstacle.
You feel guilty?
No, not entirely. She's a smart, ambitious woman. She has probably been more productive in creating an exit strategy than I feel I can be.
So you fear more the public's judgment of you if they were to find out about me?
You are not an obstacle to me, Arda. You have opened up new worlds for me. In a way, my knowledge is daunting. I simply don't know how to formulate options from it.
Well, I think the first thing to do is to gain clarity on exactly what is conflicting you. For I feel our conversation has shifted, and I am suddenly the one who doesn't fully understand.
I don't either.
But you must.
Why?
Because I also feel like I've learned about you in particular, and I feel that you want to run away.
Yes, Arda, that's it, our solution.
No, Jakola, you didn't let me finish. I think you're only analyzing the very surface of your conflicting emotions.
Then you want me to stay and run for the presidency? Arda, I just don't know if that's even feasible for me anymore.
It doesn't have to be. There could be other solutions. I know your passion for your country. You left your life in America and returned to fight for it politically.
But I have other passions now, too. And there's no way I could remain as president with you at my side. And that's where you belong.
Presidency is not the only option.
I'm not rich enough to be any sort of mogul.
Money is not the other option. You have already proven your intelligence and charisma to the Georgian people. You are in a position of notoriety already.
But much of that is from my eagle stories. The Georgian people have a yearning for stories like this, and the actions that correspond to it.
Then tell them a different story.
Like Bob Marley?
Well, I don't know. Something more concrete. But yes, in a way. If only you were an entertainer, then maybe your personal controversy could fuel your popularity instead of hinder it.
That's it. This time, Arda, you have suggested the solution. I will become Bob Marley.
Jakola, you have a lovely singing voice, but I'm not sure if you're completely qualified.
No, not so literal. I wouldn't be Bob Marley, but I would be like him. My voice could travel like his, across the radio.
The radio?
Yes, think about it, Arda. Like you said, I have the charisma and the attention of both Georgia and Abkhazia already. If I were to start a radio station of my own, I could enact real change.
How so?
Well, people could tell their stories, both the sad and the good, in a way like the Truth and Reconciliation Committee in South Africa.
But not so formal?
Right. This would be a more open forum. The individual citizens' stories would prompt others to come forward and tell their versions of our history, and a better picture of the truth could start to emerge.
Would that be all that the radio station would do? That seems somewhat macabre.
No, that would only be part of it. We could play music, peaceful music.
Or music that depicts the absurdity of violence.
Yes, both sides are equally important.
Do you really think this could be the answer? Music and talking?
Yes, it could. At least, it certainly can't hurt. We know the problems between our peoples is cultural. I don't think we have time to do long studies analyzing the exact causes of conflict. We need to jump into something that can change with the changing needs of the people.
Well, if I belong at your side, as you say, then where do I fit in?
You would help me run the radio station. We will be the first example of Georgian-Abkhaz cooperation. And not to sound rude, but the very nature of our relationship would prompt immediate publicity.
Not rude at all. My only concern is that we may attract violence even though we are not perpetrating violent acts.
We need a zone of peace.
Isn't that difficult? How could we possibly achieve that?
Well, again, my notoriety will serve as minimal protection in that any assassination attempts would have to be extremely well executed in order to not garner suspicion. And again, we would act as the example, not fighting, but rather debating, perhaps utilizing a third party if objectivity became completely lost.
What about fighting between Georgians and Abkhazians who come to participate?
All we can do is minimal security, people willing to monitor those that come and go, and stay alert for weapons.
So what's the next step?
I'll try to pool some funds together and find a place in somewhat close proximity to the border, perhaps a place already steeped in sacred connotations.
Why would that be necessary?
A zone of peace is only safe if those with weapons feel no threat and respect the sanctity of those within the zone.
I think think I'm beginning to recognize, Jakola, what your friend and my former husband were talking about all this time.
I'm not sure you do.
Well, we'll know soon enough whether I do or don't. As for your nomination speech,
If I can get the bare minimum of a radio station constructed in 4 days, a frequency and a microphone, I'll announce that I'm declining the nomination in favor of a position of a more peaceful nature. Pause. Hello, Georgia Ocasio. You're listening to PAX 100.7 with Jakola.
and Arda,
Along with our usual programming, we have an important announcement today.
after 4 years of successful revolutionary radio, we're ready to return what brought us here in the first place.
That's right, Arda. Today we announce our return to politics.
We'll be running on a revolutionary ticket, a dual ticket.
Running together will bring you the same peace and excitement as we brought you on PAX 100.7.
Join us in our bid as the first government bridging two previously adversarial regions.
Jakola and Arda.
Or Arda and Jakola.
Arda and Jakola for Georgian APA's leadership.